I came up with a sheath for my Kennata last night. I'm pretty pleased with it. I might even be erring into pride over this piece of fabric cobbling. It took, I don't know, well under an hour. Yeah, it's a little rinky-dink with the lady's hairband there. So I took a piece of balsa wood and I carved out the shape of the blade in there. I made a bit of a hump. This hump gets more dramatic on the inside, the idea being that this is going to catch the side of the bevel there so that the edge doesn't actually make contact. I don't think it really worked. The edge may be making contact, but it's in there. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a wiggle, but there's no rattle sound because it's damped by the soft balsa and the leather. And so, yeah, first of all, I was thinking just to whittle. Well, I was thinking leather. Should I make a leather sheath or should I make a kind of a saya, like a scabbard style? And then this notion occurred to me, well, if I carve out this, and then I can just put the leather. So this leather is right now is just held on with double-sided sticky tape. I could, peel it off, but I'll leave it on because if I peel it off, then it's not going to be stuck on so well. But, it's just like that. It's obviously not very strong, but I have this castrum. It's like a belt loop for your axe or whatever. So you just would throw your axe in there, well, you'd throw it in the other way around, right? And then it would hang off the pole there. So I've used that a little bit for an axe or for a war club. Haven't found that much use for it. But I thought, well, if I make this the right size, I'll just be able to jam it in there and that'll hold the whole thing shut. So it's now fully functional, but it's not finished. Obviously could take this somewhere, but yeah, so that fits in there with the friction, holds the whole thing shut, even puts a little bit of pressure down this way onto the blade. Actually, it also occurred to me that I could, take a coin or something, wedge it in here, and then snug it up. That'll put a little more pressure on the blade, change the retention. So yeah, the retention as is. There's not much retention. With this snugged up, I won't snug it up all the way yet. Yes, so then that is why I added this little thing, because then even were it to flip around, that'll stop it from falling all the way out. And because of the weight, the balance of it, it does actually work. Sometimes if you have something like a survival knife or whatever with a full tang, there's a lot of weight in the handle, and then you hang it like this, it'll just tend to flip over. So next steps. For one thing, I can just drill all the way around here and then stitch it together. Then I can finish this flush to the leather, and then I can coat the whole thing with epoxy up to the edges of the leather. Then it will be very solid, fairly unbreakable. And then I could also do some kind of collar here. And what it occurred to me would be really cool would be some kind of retention system. So I was imagining if you could have a bull with a spring, a bull bearing with a spring, so that when you pull, that'll push the ball in. And when you Ooh, don't cut my finger there. And the same thing in reverse, you know. And then you would have awesome retention. But, oops. Anyway, it works for now. This is from the Castrum Dangler. So there's another loop that's on my belt now that I will just clip this back onto my belt right now. Pop that over the handle, and away I go. Should remember to oil the handle. Let's try a bit of this. It's interesting the way that the grain came out so different on the two different sides. Thanks for watching.